I'm Tony Bannon, the Ron and Donna Fielding Director at George Eastman House at Chautauqua Institution with Jimmy Colton, who is the picture editor of Sports Illustrated and has been for the past 13 years. Jimmy Colton's reputation in the field is significant for the excellence of his work at Sports Illustrated, and he's won so many awards of recognition for his work as an editor. Jimmy today spoke about ethics and service during an afternoon presentation in the Hall of Philosophy at the Chautauqua Institution. And I wanted to explore just what's the basis of your commitment to helping young people, older people, emerging people in our fine field of photography?
That's a wonderful question. I have pretty much based my life philosophy on the fact that I wish some of these examples of ability to learn and mentor existed when I was a young fledgling journalist. And unfortunately, there weren't very many opportunities when I was first getting started in the business. I think it's an imperative for anyone in the field of photography or not. If a business has been good to you, it's your obligation to be good to it. So I feel almost Zen-like in my philosophy that I need to get back to the industry, the opportunity for young aspiring photojournalists who want to come into our field to have some sort of guidance and some sort of opportunity to get their foot in the door. And this is why I'm involved in many workshops and do a lot of speaking across the country, and most of the time it's for high school students or young aspiring photojournalists that are trying to get into the business. It is extremely important to me. I get more satisfaction or equal satisfaction in that aspect of my business than I do finding a great picture every week.
What are the best locations that you frequent where a person seeking help can receive it?
Okay. There are several opportunities. One is called the Eddie Adams Workshop for photographers that are, I should say students or professional photographers with 3 years or less experience are eligible to apply to the workshop. 100 students will be chosen out of thousands who send in their portfolios, and that's how you earn your way in. That's one good opportunity, because during the 4 days of this workshop you have the ability to meet with every mover and shaker in our business. If you had tried to make appointments to see all of these editors of magazines and newspapers and wire services over a course of a year, it might take you an entire year to get in their door if you could. Yet in one weekend they're all in one place, and you can actually jump from table to table and sit down with them and try to get their wisdom and knowledge absorbed during this period of time. So that's one opportunity. The other opportunity that I think exists are internships. It's something that people kind of like scoff at, but you have to cut your teeth somewheres. And a lot of photojournalists that are majors in schools feel like they want to go work for the New York Times right away, or they want to shoot the cover of National Geographic. It doesn't happen that way. They really have to get their feet wet. They have to start someplace, and it's a ladder that you climb. And there are great advantages to applying for internships and working in the photo departments at smaller newspapers. I can guarantee you that. If you're working at a smaller newspaper, you're going to have a lot more input, and you're going to have a lot more opportunity to do more things than if you're working at a large circulation newspaper or a major magazine. It's the same philosophy for photographers who wish to have their work distributed. If you go to one of the 300-pound gorillas like Getty and Corbis or even the wire services, you're not going to get the same amount of attention to your work as if you would start at a smaller agency like a Polaris or a Redux, where you're one of a fewer core of photographers. So for people that are just starting in the business, it's great to aim high, but you really have to start low.
And the business is changing daily, isn't it?
Absolutely.
If you're to position yourself now for success 5 or 10 years from now, what would you do differently than perhaps you would have done 5 or 10 years ago?
Right. Photographers these days are not just photojournalists. They are multimedia experts. And that's going to be the way it's going to be. Very simply, when they go out to shoot now, it's not just getting a picture, writing a caption, and sending it back, unless you're working specifically for a wire service where you're asked to do one specific assignment and release just one specific image. Mm-hmm. Anytime a photographer goes out now, if they do not have a Marantz or any other model sound equipment, if they do not have the camera that has a capacity of shooting high definition video, they are going to be behind the 8 ball. In addition to the photographs that they're shooting, they have to learn the skills that are now inherently there for all photojournalists. We're seeing much more multimedia being shown. Websites are consuming that like crazy, and you're going to have to learn things like how to put together these multimedia, Final Cut Pro, all of the tools that are necessary to further your visual storytelling. So don't think that you can just put a camera over your shoulder and go out and take a picture and that's the end of it. You're going to be responsible now for learning how to take audio, to do video, to stitch that in with music and graphics. We're going to be much more multifaceted in how we go about our business in the future. So my advice to anybody that's starting would be to learn all these, be a sponge, absorb everything that you can about the new technology, because those are the tools that you're going to need if you want to further yourself in this business.
You've said that you have the best job in the world. Why is that?
Well, if you think about it, I'm both in a digital world, but I'm a very analog kind of guy. The magazine that I work for, Sports Illustrated, has in the front of the magazine 3 spreads that are devoted to just 3 big pictures. I get the opportunity of going through thousands of images every week to choose those 3 pictures. So to me, it's like a kid in a candy store. I'm going through things, looking for something that I have 6 pages. I have 3 spreads. It's a blank canvas, and I get to choose things like elephant polo in Nepal, or bull riding in a high school rodeo. As long as the picture has something, some tangential element to sport, then it's viable as an option to run as a spread in the magazine. It's great visibility. I can't wait to pick up the magazine every week. So I love doing what I do, and I'm surprised they pay me for it.
What will the magazine business look like in 5 or 10 years?
I think it'll inherently be the same. We've there's been a lot of talk, even in the years of the business I've been in when we were growing up, that newspapers were dinosaurs. We're killing trees. We're not going to have newspapers. They're going to disappear in years. What we've seen is a decline in numbers of newspapers, but there still are newspapers. It's the best 50 cents that you can buy if you're living in Manhattan and you pick up the newspaper and you read it and you throw it out at the end of the day. The fact that it's also available online, it's cool. Younger people who have that more of a tendency to have that computer savvy and want to get their information that way, that's a great opportunity. But these are all adjuncts to the main product. So we will not see, and I'm saying this on the record, we will not see the demise of magazine photography or magazines in my lifetime, and I don't think we will for newspapers either. But we're going to see all kinds of new ways to further embellish the photography and news that's available for these markets by things like the iPad and things like what you see on .coms and independent things that you can do on your website. If anybody's out there not doing things on their own websites, they're nuts. You have to take advantage of all of the opportunities that are out there for you to have people see your images. That's what it's really all about. And even if it's just 4 or 5 people, then cool. But if it's really good, it has a kind of a snowball effect, and more people see it and they forward it to other people, and then the next thing you know, thousands of people are looking at it, or you have an opportunity to publish, or an advertising guy looks at it and loves it and hires you to do something. You just never know what can come out of it. But if you're not doing anything, then nobody's going to see it. So I think the business is healthy. Everybody talks about the economy being bad and all of that, but I think we're at a time in our careers and a time in our lifetime that it's the healthiest it's been as far as the opportunities that are available for furthering the imagery that we're creating.
Jimmy Colton, that's a great way to end, with hope. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.